Well, we're getting a strike on this video already as the music is playing rather than that sort of instrumental choral thing. But hello, good evening, welcome back to JACKOCAR. This is the Kia series, Tuesday nights through to the rest of time, listening to myself, Gareth Hall, in the commentary box. I will be shortly joined by Mr. Yuri Hasselager. He is just taking a comfort break. And, of course, ever the professional, he's decided to wait right until the last minute, just as we're about to start to go and do it. But I think I can hear him bumbling around and putting his microphone on. So we'll await his arrival, to the man that is currently single-handedly spreading COVID around Nederhurst-Vanberg in the Netherlands. Are we back, Yuri?
Oh, yeah, we are. Been for a while, though. I just wanted to listen to what you were on about. And yeah, in about 2 days, the entire village I live in will be at home, as you said so yourself.
I mean, so it's a way of getting off work, and I rate it.
I should actually use it as an excuse, but then again, in the Netherlands, a cold isn't an excuse to not come to work.
No,
so, yeah.
Well, yeah. But,
yeah, as Garrett mentioned, I've got a bit of a cold going on, so I apologize in advance for any. Wait, no, this is Kia series. I don't apologize at all.
I wouldn't either. So if he sounds even more miserable than usual, don't worry. It's not the cold. It's the fact that we're having to sit here and watch you guys. But good evening. Hope you're all well. Slightly. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. Leroy is already here, complaining that Yuri's late. What is new? Absolutely, Leroy. Totally agree. Perhaps we should have the former champion here in the box. And
he is?
Well, let's actually go back to the last time that we were here in Miami, because you are joining us, of course.
No, let's not.
Oh,
no.
I've got it on my notes here to bring up Miami. So the last time we were here at the... down on the sunny southeast coast of the United States was the 6th of December 2022. It was a big day for the Kia series. It was the Championship 5 in Season 4. And, well, the winner, it was Leroy Hasselager. He took home the championship before he made his full-time move up to Cup. Yuri Hasselager in P2, and Michel Goris made it an all-Dutch podium. Yuri, tell us what you remember about that day.
Well, there was a lot of water, and it wasn't due to the rain. It was tears of sadness, as on the final lap, halfway through the lap, my tire burst. Well, yeah, don't do 23 laps on Inters.
Yeah, exactly. He thought he'd outsmart the game, and the game came round and bit him in the ass. But well, we'll see. It's looking a little bit clearer for these guys here this evening in Miami. We'll get the laps up. Everyone will be coming out, of course. If you're new to JACKOCAR, welcome. Where have you been? Welcome to what will be one of the most casual streams that you've ever listened to in terms of commentary. We like to just have a little bit of fun with these guys out. Of course, this is the Kia series, the second tier in JACKOCAR. You can join the top tier, the actual good drivers, on a Thursday evening. This week, it will be Japan. So over to Suzuka for the next round in their season, which you'll be able to see Yuri and I in. But one shot quali with a twist here in JACKOCAR. So everyone will have an out lap, a flying lap, and an in lap. They will come out in staggered timings, so everyone will be on a lap on their own, so you won't have two people sort of setting flying laps and competing with each other for track space. First person out was due to be Matt Davis. He's elected not to join us again tonight, which actually really disrupts my driver profile. So the fact that Davis has done this for a second week in a row is very irritating. Yuri will be taking us around the 88 car, Isaac Edemer, for his first quali lap. He will be the first one out in the box. Yuri, whilst the last time we were here may have been a bit of a painful one for you, tell us a little bit more about the track.
Yeah, whilst I try to maintain my emotions because it's all so fresh. No, this track is called the Miami International Autodrome, and it's located not in Miami at all. It's near Fort Lauderdale, if I remember correctly. Other than that, the track has 19 turns, is 5.4 kilometers or 3.3 miles long, and it pains me to say, but the man we're currently on board with, Isaac, has the lap record here with a 1:32.000, a very pleasing lap time indeed. As you mentioned before, the previous winner was Leroy, and he done that on a 4-stop strategy. Whilst he started on the west, he went to the inters, later again, and during a safety car he thought it was smart to go for the mediums, which whilst it was still raining, and later he transferred back to the intermediates to finish the race. This race has been on the calendar once before, and as mentioned, 2 seasons ago, it was the season 5 championship. And today's Joker there's only one, and it's Michael Okeke.
Yeah, it is a deal. And look at that. I set you up thinking that I wonder if he's got any notes about the track.
Yeah.
And look at him go. He smashes it out the park.
Yeah, I joke a lot about this being not serious at all, but I have to live up to the fact that I am here with the fastest guy in Team Speed, who is also a pro commentator.
True.
You know, it is funny that like the first fastest and the third fastest guys in Team Speed are here on track.
I set high standards, and well, Kingan is setting his first lap, and why don't you take us round?
Yeah, it is interesting with that car just exiting the pits, but that backs out. Luckily enough, Kingan actually going rather wide into turn 1 as he takes us around the lap of the Miami International Autodrome. Isaac, what have I got written here? I need to scroll really far back because you weren't important at all. So, there it is. The only driver who actively said that he would take the gamble by letting us choose his Joker. And I had a lot of fun in picking that Joker, to be fair. That's gotta deserve some respect. But then again, he is Swedish, and he's a Marcus Ericsson fan. We can clearly see where this comes from, as both Swedes, I mentioned previously, love to make questionable moves in the race they appear in. Right then, this is a bit wide. And I don't have the track map on, so I have no idea. He stays valid, that's nice.
Yeah, not
Good
quite sure
job
how.
there. Yeah. I guess just like Marcus Ericsson, he pays off stewards by not getting penalized. So, as we head into the final DRS straight, and to complete the first lap, which up until now still is going to be on the board, Isaac, what can you do? Out of the final corner, lines it up, through the gears into the left-hander, then the right-hander, take the shortest line. That is not the shortest line, but at 1:30 flat, meaning that he is 1.6 seconds quicker than his own lap record.
Which shows how bad everyone was that they're going quicker this time around. But Kingan, well, he sets provisional pole. Was the only one to have set a lap. We're now on board with Scott Hayes, and Scott, who didn't have the best of opening races last week, got a disqualification, didn't quite understand the rules, and pitted on the incorrect laps and got himself a DSQ. And actually, after being awarded that DSQ in his first race in JACKOCAR, he was so upset that he had a little bit of a mini breakdown, ran outside, punched a horse that was being ridden past his house. He's actually spent the last week in court and will be doing community service for the next 128 hours after the completion of this race. So he's got a lot to make up to the locals. And what can he do out on the circuit to make himself feel a little bit better? Well, it's not going to help him all that much. It's a 33.9. That is 3.5 seconds slower than what we just saw from Kingan. Now, we've got 2 more cars out on the circuit. We have got Marco Schneider, who is just come to a full stop through, and Marco, who is taking the place of Kaya, who will be sitting on the bench for the next 5 weeks because he was too lazy to make a setup. And well, we can see Marco here is he's actually offered he actually had Kaya offered to be his race engineer, and Kaya actually offered everyone on the grid to be their race engineer, but they all decided to turn him down, suggesting that they actually wanted to finish the race, and that might have hurt him. But what can Marco do? It's going to be slow, of course. He's had a shocker of a second sector. It's a 34.6. Tell us a little bit more from what's happening with, I believe, Dustin Rolko.
Yeah, I have just jumped on board with him, so I can't really tell you all about it a lot. I was just too interested in looking into Marco's lines into the final corner. But indeed, Dustin is the next one to set a lap. He is now entering the final corner, and not gonna lie, I like this livery. That works really well. Dustin, if there was a competition for best assigned livery and you would get bonus points, you would get 1 bonus point.
Well, he's also going to get provisional pole position at 30.024. He's 4/10 of a second faster than Kingen. So Dustin goes pole position. Dustin actually, he's kept his Tamagotchi alive for 17 years. Its name is Claude, and it's currently the oldest known Tamagotchi living in existence. Michael Okeke, the Joker for this evening. And what can he do? Okeke is always a sharp one for liveries, and I actually think this rivals the green and grey that we've just seen from Dustin as Okeke. Now we've almost like that. He does like himself the flying arrows, or the silver arrows, the 98, 99 McLaren style of Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard around that era, down to the hairpin. Of course, just a few more corners left to go for Michael. And he actually spent 40 minutes trying to perfect the perfect sandwich at home. He involved himself dressing smart. He lit candles, put on music, and then realised he didn't buy bread or filling. Ended up eating cold beans in a tin whilst crying and watching his last win in JACKOCAR. So he goes up into P3, leaving us with Matthew Shepherd, who is invalidated, who's decided, is he running the same livery? It's a slightly different livery. It looks as though he's not quite got the PNC Bank livery. The blue's a little bit too electric blue, I'd say, but we've actually got written down here that Matt Shepherd, who of course runs the PNC Bank livery, Scott Dixon, due to a marketing agreement between himself and PNC Bank. They're thought to be funding his esports career, but they were disappointed to find out he was racing Jacko, not Jarno. But he puts himself on his flying lap now, which means actually we did have a flyer. Who was on the flyer that I've missed? Is it Paul McGuinness that is circulating?
No, Paul McGuinness is on his lap now, and it is also. I must say that even though for a bunch of never mind. I was going to say for a bunch of nice drivers and quality drivers, Paul McGuinness, who is a professional karting driver, really messed up there. As I messed up there. Paul McGuinness, yeah, that car is looking fine as well. They've really lived up to the expectations of designing good-looking cars, and we're not even at Throwback Week yet.
Yeah,
so what can this semi-professional driver do as we enter the final two corners? And here comes Paul across the line. 7/10 off. Kind of disappointed with you there, Paul, but he did say that he absolutely despises this track.
Yeah, well, he's a big fan of red and has got a livery to match, as Matt Shepherd has invalidated. Just go back to Paul McGuinness. Grade 7 accomplished bagpiper. He actually uses the bladder of his bagpipes as a cushion whilst he's racing. It's perfectly tuned, so when he moves around in his seat, it actually plays the Flower of Scotland seamlessly. So he puts himself up into P4. Matt Shepherd isn't going to be starting any further forward than that. He's got invalidation. He's got to go to the end, and he's not done that. You still have to complete your lap, Matthew. He's boxed straight in, so unless that's a double invalidation, but I'm pretty sure he's just came in straight with his flying lap.
This was his in lap.
Okay, well he's bottled both of them anyway. So Harry Collier out on circuit as well. So we've got Harry Collier and we've got Bazza. One would assume that I would know which one has come out in which order, but I'm trying to look at three sets of notes at the same time. We'll go on board with Bazza.
Then you have made a good guess, because Bazza is the next one to complete a lap.
Good.
You would say you do this as a professional, but
you know. Who cares? It's only Kia. As Bazza comes across the line, what is it? It's 31.196, puts himself in P5. He has a pre-race ritual drinking 14 shot glasses of English mustard mixed with yellow Monster. It says it gives him a competitive edge because he's on the verge of explosive diarrhea and has to race fast to get to the end of the race, but it hasn't quite helped him there. Has it helped Harry Collier, who's now coming around onto the back straight to end his? He's actually the largest owner of the Rattata Pokemon card in the Northern Hemisphere. He's been collecting them for the last 8 years and has over 38,000 of the small rat Pokemon sitting in his room. Non-stored, he just uses them as a bed, as a duvet. It's a little bit messy, but I think it's a sex thing, but I don't quite get it. Harry Collier up to the line. What can he do on his Collier lap? It's P3, not bad from Harry.
That's probably not the weirdest kink some people have on this grid. A rat that's a fetish. Whatever. Next on is Jess. Jess, after a relatively successful season, yet again, as she keeps on improving and improving, is rocking a also great looking livery. These people are looking good in their cars, and I will forever be jealous on Jess, and I've asked her many occasions, I've asked Jacko many occasions, but I just cannot get that number, which I will be forever mad at Jacko for, but whatever. Here comes Jess across the line as a very, very good P2.
Yeah, what you want? You want 90? Oh, 7. Oh.
7, yes, 7. I wonder why.
Who cares about that? Scrub number. Jess, who's actually never said the word pumpkin, she claims she has a phobia of the orange seasonal peepo. Actually, it's a berry, a pumpkin. You wouldn't have thought it was a berry. She can carve and eat it, but she refuses to say the name. Instead, she calls it Halloween Skull Entity. But she's put herself into P2. A very good quality result for her, as we've got cars circulating out, and Mr. Ricketts is out on board and on circuit now, and Jacko, who didn't have the best of weeks last week, got himself involved in a couple of incidents, found himself making the wrong strategy calls, and he once accidentally walked onto a movie set in Bournemouth, and much credited as man farting and spitting at child in street. He's actually expected to win an Oscar for his performance next year, but Jacko down the back straight, what can he do? He's going to want to get to the front of this. Of course, he's almost as American as I am, out there as much as he can be. Can he make Miami his home? Of course, Championship 5 contender last season, didn't quite go to plan, but well, what can Jacko do as he rounds the final corner? A little kink right hander to the line. It's a 28.9. He absolutely obliterates the rest of the field. It's a second and a bit faster than P2, so Jacko very much now the one to beat.
Yeah, we better get this scrub promoted, because that is disgusting. That is too fast for Kia. Get him out. Get him out now. Did you... Ooh, interesting start, because I was just about to say that we had, for once more, due to Matt Rosamond's absence, an entire lap with Leslie, who had a bit of a moment coming out of the final corner. But did you know that Jacko actually is a secret Max Verstappen fan? Somewhere in the deep dark web there is a picture of him with a helmet of Max Verstappen on the internet, and he is very actively trying to hide his secret love for the Dutch driver. Leslie going through what in my opinion are the best corners, like 4 and 6 there, 4 and 5, and then into 6. Lovely combination of corners, and then 7 can suck one.
I actually really like this circuit. Apparently it's very unpopular, but yeah, I do enjoy driving around here. Is Leslie? I mean, I still don't quite know who he is. Yuri, do you know who Matt Lester is? He turns up each week, but I've never really seen anything from him. He kind of just
all
disappears.
I know is that both him, Mr. Shepard, and Mr. Davis are all not very original with their names.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just so nothing. You just don't see him, don't hear from him. Nothing happens. He doesn't challenge for anything. He's just a breeze in the wind. At running the almost Jamaican bobsled livery up to the hairpin, and hopefully he's kissed his lucky egg up to the final 2 corners. What can he do? Will it challenge Jacko? Absolutely not. It's a 30.993, puts himself into P7, as everyone's been crying about how much they don't like this circuit. Well, clearly it's evident that the only one that's been driving it is Jacko, as we've got Virginio on his, so Victor Souza on his lap as well, so he's coming down to the hairpin. The inspiration for the 2002 World Cup Ronaldo R9 haircut. He did this by accident when the bowl he was using to cut his hair accidentally slipped forward. Well, it slipped forward far enough that he's taken pole by 0.02 of a second, and Jacko can be heard from here slamming his fist down on his steering wheel in rage, as we've now got Waste now making his way down the back kink straight. The DRS activated right now as the rear flap opens for Waste, and Waste, who's actually tried to hide the fact that he's a furry. He secretly dresses up as Twinkles the Patchwork Dragon. He says it's not a sexual thing. Matt Davis disagrees. More on that when Davis actually bothers to show up. But Wace was running a special palm-themed livery for Miami. I do like this livery. As he kisses the wall and exit, you want to keep away from that. That's not going to help you. But Wace down the back straight, a little bit of work to do. We've only got a couple more cars to come out. We've got Quinn, we've got Matt Shepherd, we've got Quinn, we've got Rage Man. Of course, these are the top three from last week. Wace coming in P3, then Rage Man P2, and of course Quinn, who's already punched his ticket to the playoffs. But what can Wace do? Can he challenge the 128.9? It looks as though it's going to be a little bit slower. It's a 129.5, puts him currently P2 on the grid.
As we move over to the runner-up, who's already invalidated. So, yeah, people who mess around don't get time. Next up, Quinn. Yeah, Mr. I am so shit at this game. I'm not gonna accomplish to anything. Here he is, last out because he won the last race. Quinn. I was looking forward to this. Did you know that Mr. Quinn has been working his ass off for the last 5 years in order to try and purchase that one house in Luton Town, which is the entrance to the away section of the Luton Stadium. This is so that he can yell at the away fans and get beaten up every other week and use this as an excuse to be shit at the game.
Only Quinn would buy a house that's going to get knocked down in a year's time when they get rid of that shithole of a stadium. But as Quinn comes down the back straight, he's actually the owner of the largest collection of adult scat movies in the UK. He once came across the Two Girls One Cup movie in school, and since then he's been really invested in movies related to human fecal matter and its use in adult entertainment. I mean, each to their own. He does go pole position, however, but well, Cameroon Quinn, as his username seems to suggest, and his age, I think he's about 45. He takes pole position. There's going to be no enthusiasm with the fact that if Quinn is just going to be basically doing what you and Leroy did over the last few seasons, and he's just staying in Kia because he doesn't want to be in Cup and kind of be racing around in 17th.
Sorry, I wasn't muted there because of coughing and stuff. I was just muted because I was laughing so much. Sorry. Anyway, you say that about Quinn walking while you were like, at least Leroy had his competition with me and Quinn on a lucky day, and Michel when he was turning up, and someone else. And then I had my competition with Michel and Quinn, and then every now and again when Kingan decided to actually put in some effort, or Lesty, you know. Quinn, who's he got for competition? Fintinho, who has by far the most unstable internet connection of them all. And bear in mind, we used to race with Connor. The reason behind this is that Victor is mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency to make a saving for when he has to give up JACKOCAR because of his shitty connection.
These are all factual comments, guys. I hope you know this, as we do real deep investigative journalism to find out all these facts. As I mean, look at the field spread. Come off it. Quinn takes pole position by half a second. Jacko in P3 is 200ths a second behind Virginio. Wace is now a second. P4 is a second off of pole. Fozzie Bear in P5, 1.7 seconds back to P6, 1.9 to P7. This is getting ridiculous. Harry Collier, 1.994 back in P8. Paul McGuinness and Lesty, 2.2 and 2.4 seconds back. We're now getting back into the realms of F2 standard of driving. Of course, behind there, you've got the likes of OKK, Bazza. Who else did we add? Had Scott, who was eventually 5.4 seconds off of the pole time. GP2 engine, I think a man once said. Oh well, as Quinn's trying to own me in the comments, I mean, good luck, sunshine. You're more than welcome to try. Yes, I mean, Yuri, that was an electric qualifying session that was so close to cool until the very end, where we saw the man who should be winning every race take pole position by half a second.
Yeah, well, we've been into 2 races, and Quinn's won one, and now he's on pole, and that only leaves one potential outcome in 13 weeks. He is winning, and he's winning by at least 25 seconds. One of
my all-time favourite JACKOCAR, at least Kia memories, is that Championship 5 race where I cut on board with Quinn just as he is careering towards the barrier, not turning, full throttle, and you see him retire. It was so funny, and I had to pretend it was professional.
Oh, you know what that was? Oh, he just succumbed to also that, but he just succumbed to pressure. Like Leroy and myself, Matt was right behind him. It's all these big names, and then he had to put in the effort, and it just didn't. He couldn't.
Jacko frequently says that Quinn doesn't have the bottle to win it. I mean, he could easily win every race so far this season. You know, as soon as he gets to the Championship 5, that he would then just crash into someone on lap 1, have a cry about it, leave the chat, and then come back and do it all again next season, saying he's not fast enough. He won't be leaving the chat
this time.
That's true.
5? Is it the 5 race, Ben?
Oh, it's not enough. That's what it is. It's we don't let crying happen here in JACKOCAR. I'm disappointed that it's seemingly decent weather. So there's, and I'm going to preface this to all of you, everyone watching at home and everyone watching and driving, no excuses for anyone to spin because it is dry. If I see anyone spinning, you will be called out. There are no excuses. It is one of the hottest places in the western side of the planet. It is a lovely location. It's brand new tarmac. It's not sandy. You've got fake water with the boats on the left hand side as you go around. You've got the Dolphins Stadium you're driving around. You might get a crisp packet here or there, but apart from that, there is no reason that we will see a safety car tonight, is there, Yuri? None.
No, and even though these walls are so close to the track, they're all there on straights. People don't hit walls on straight, right? It's not happening. No, this is going to be... well, it's also a downside, because if there's no safety cars tonight, which by the looks of everything that is on this grid, on this track, the cars, the conditions, the asphalt, the drivers, the talent, they're all going to be just going for it. And the field spread. That means that there's no cars going to be together, and it's going to be a easy going, straightforward, green flag race.
I think that they were just teasing us with qualifying. Is that really what we're going to get is one of those esport races where they've literally maxed out what the game will allow them, so they drive like nose to tail for the entire race and then just punt each other off and cry on Twitter about it. So what we're going to get is the greatest race with no overtaking whatsoever, as all cars have realised that they actually have to put the accelerator down to go forwards rather than sort of do it about 3 seconds slower than everyone else. Tyres though, Quinn knows that he's faster than everyone, so he's gone for the mediums to start with. Softs all the way through down to Jess, who's equally decided that she's going to go ballsy and go for the mediums to start. OKK on the Joker, of course, he'll be making 1 mandatory stop. Everyone else has to make 2 mandatory stops. He's gone for the mediums. Mediums also for Marco Schneider and Matt Shepard down in P14 and 15, as Vitinho gets himself disqualified from his grid slot for overrunning. Does anyone else, as we've got rubbish camera angles here, I can't say if anyone's decided to go for the fun quali lineup, as no, they're all parking exactly how they should be. How very boring of you all, as you can see them trying to filter into position. Gosh, that was impressive, as Robin's car was moving forward with no wheels turning. But here we go, getting ready for the lights, and we've got a terrible camera angle, but you're gonna have to deal with it. 4, 5, pause. It's a long one, but it's out and underway, and it's a good start from Quinn. Who can get up alongside him? Can it be Fatinho? Can it be Jacko? Jacko's going to have to go the long way around the outside. There's going to be chaos, and there is the chaos, as we've got 3, 4 cars all getting tangled up with each other. I wouldn't be surprised to see a VSC, as we've got a yellow out at P1. Jacko's lost a position, as we've got almost 3 wide going around turn 3, and this has got absolute disaster written all over it. Oh, just about made it through there. Is Jacko now boxed down to P5, but Quinn, he's already broken away. Vitinho's trying to stay with him. But you can see the gap between Waste and Vitinho is 0.2 of a second. Quinn's disappeared up the road and has already won this race. Behind, you can see the chain of positions will soon start to change because Paul McGuinness is trying to make a move on Jacko. OKK's up to P7. He's had a good start and keep it clean, please keep it clean. Here we go in towards the stadium section, and this is where it really slows down. You can go too wide, but you can't go too wide for this section here as they're going to throw it down the inside, and OKK is going to get the position on Paul McGuinness, who's going to have to hop the chicane, and OKK gives them the space, but they're still trying to go too wide around there. All they can do is lose them time, but it looks as though we've actually, holding our breath, almost got to the end of the lap without a VSC or a safety car.
We have indeed. If there's some wood around me. Oh, there. Okay, come on, guys. Yeah, the start. Whilst you were focusing on the front of the start, I had a look at the rear of the start, and there were some guys with wing damage. You'll be seeing them probably come into the pits, or maybe stretch it out to lap 3, which I would do, personally. It was Thomas who, whilst you were focused on the midfield who had their coming together, it was Thomas who ran into the back of one of the cars ahead and caused some carnage there as well. But after that, it all tried to settle down, and we're now into lap 2 with Waste slowly catching Quinn again, and Jacko all over Kingen. And I can't believe that I'm saying it, but up to Jacko. Come on, get him.
Yeah, Jacko's broken away from Paul McGuinness now, 1.6 seconds. OKK actually, he's dropped back behind, so the two were fighting over position. Harry Collier is 0.4 of a second behind Robin Border. They're fighting over 8th and 9th. We'll go up to Vitinho, who's trying to make a move if the camera lets me move it. There we go. Vitinho is now fighting with Wace. He's 0.3 of a second behind. You'll have to bear with me because the timing is completely all over the place, and Baza is in the wall and out the race, and we've got a pile-up that involves Dustin Rolko, and Jess has lost her front wing as well. Looks as though she's gone into him, and we have a virtual safety car that's been upgraded. Safety car now rolling out on circuit. Everybody count with me. 1.
No, it's still a virtual safety car. This is not factual, correct?
No, well, unless we've got exactly the same as last week, where
do.
He's taking the race into his own hands. Is the good old safety car, and
well, you can't blame him though, right? Because he's still in the race for most laps led.
I would, if I were him, just stay out on circuit. To be fair, he's faster than most of the cars out there, and it's probably safer.
Is it the AMG or is it the? Or is it the Aston Martin? Oh, well, he might not be the fastest now because it's the Aston Martin.
Well, Quinn just tried to overtake it. Luckily, he got it slowed down in time, and it didn't catch out Waste too much because Waste, we do know, pays attention to what's happening behind him rather than in front of him quite frequently. But Vitinho's knocked down to P4, Kingen up to P5, Jacko P6, OKK is still sitting behind Paul McGuinness in 6th and 7th, but behind you've got the likes of Rageman, Harry Collier, Matt Lester, Marcus Schneider, then we've got Scott Hayes. Jess will be in for a new wing. I believe that's happened already. And out of the box comes Matt Shepherd. Thomas Never, as you say, was the one that collected Jess at the start, and she also went into a couple of other cars, I believe. So they had their own incident in the early stages of this one. So don't worry, guys, you don't have to floor it with under the safety car. You will catch them. It's not going to come in just yet, as Matt Shepherd and Thomas Never are fighting over position, and Thomas is trying to get right in the slipstream here of Matt Shepherd under the safety car. Let's hope he doesn't put the brake on anytime soon, because Thomas seems to be unnecessarily close to him. There we go. That's a bit better. You don't need to be trying to work out what engine oil he's been using this morning, as the safety car will be out, I imagine, for at least one more lap, which will give us time just to talk through the start of this race. Quinn got a good start, kind of started to break away from the pack. Wace has got up past Vitinho, so Victor Souza knocked down.
Wow, what have I just witnessed?
Oh, for God's sake.
Fosseybeers just completely rear-ended Jess under the safety car, as if her day wasn't going terribly enough. She did stay out, by the way, so she'd probably take one of her mandatory stops right now, which would be the smart thing to do.
Yes, so will she come in? Yes, she does. Fozzie stays out with no front wing. Sure. Oh God, I love Kia. Um, I mean, I can understand that as Jess has gone onto the hard tyres, that she's going to run a long stint on the hards. Um, it did seem as though that she could have. Oh, I suppose the safety car hadn't come in by then. Is that it was that early? No front wing around here is going to cost you so much time that you might as well pit and take the brunt of the pain. But yeah, Fozzie, he's got a time penalty and a front wing to change when he next boxes. I mean, what we do get is we get a little bit more entertainment once again with the we get a safety car restart. So
I'm getting IndyCar flashbacks.
Yeah, oh God, don't. Yeah, hopefully we don't have anything like what we had at Laguna Seca last weekend. Because, well, to be fair, I think they probably been watching a Kia race because that's how they were doing restarts. So we've got the Aston Martin safety car out, and behind it you've got Cameron Quinn, Sheck Weiss, and Vitinho Haas. I mean, what are usernames? Come on, go. We are all old enough to have normal. Surely we're all enough to have normal usernames by now. Look, I mean, Jacko10509. Where's Mr. Jack Ricketts Esquire? That's what I'd prefer it would be. Safety car in this lap. Everyone's bunched up. Quinn now becomes the de facto leader. Safety car disappears off, and I'm sure we'll be seen out again in about 3 laps' time.
2.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we're lucky. Weiss will be sitting behind Quinn, waiting for him to go, and he's very aggressively trying to warm those tyres. Quinn, no weaving whatsoever, and he can go any time from the DRS line, which is just around this corner. Waiting. Quinn's going to wait right into the line. You can see, there we go, is a good restart from Quinn. Weiss has got caught out a little bit. Vitinho is fighting already with Kingan. Kingan's going to go down the inside, surely, of Vitinho. They're going to have to be careful with each other. No need to tangle unnecessarily. And Vitinho hold position. Kingan drops into P4. We have got a yellow flag out. And we've got around goes Marco Schneider, I believe, who's had an incident at turn 1. He is out and is recovering. We're back to green in the mini sector. Kingan, Jacko, Paul McGuinness, Rageman has just moved up past OKK, who is pointing in the wrong direction and is going to drive right into the path of Thomas.
Dustin.
Sorry, yeah, it was Dustin. It was.
And you would be thinking that Dustin lost his front wing in this incident, right? That's what you would think, right? Indeed, he, as you say, I love Kia Series. We all love Kia Series
because he didn't have a front wing to lose.
He didn't bid.
Which is the most amazing strategy. Is that if you have no front wing, you can crash into as many people as possible if it's front on. This is brilliant. He's worked out how to break the game. That if you can just drive around with effectively a spear on the front of your car.
Can I just say, biggest winner out of all of this? Jess Ball.
Well, not us. I was going to say, yeah, Jess. Safety car.
You know what we should do, Gareth? We should just can we just agree on a movie we'll watch this week, and then next week during the safety car periods we just review this movie.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that would be so much more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean you can. Oh, God's sake! What do I say, Yuri?
Right, I'll best get writing.
Right, and say it with me, everyone, because we didn't say it. 2. Pit lane speeding penalty for Weiss, who, under yellow, has sped into the pit lane. Front wing change, finally, for Fozzie Bear, who will, after serving a 5-second time penalty, will get a new front wing. So he's decided that he might go a little bit quicker with a bit of downforce on the car. Quinn still leads this one. Jacko now up into P2, Rageman P3, and then you've got Scott Hayes P4. Jess, as you say, biggest gainer of everyone out of all of us. She came in on has made a mandatory stop, now up into P5. Jess, who's finished on the podium before, of course, she's a race winner as well. And maybe looking to, well, she says she wants to make it to a Championship 5. Of course, she almost did it last season. Got snatched away from her by technicalities by Jack Ricketts, who just couldn't let it live, that he just wasn't fast enough to get into the C5 on his own.
That was 2 seasons ago.
Was it 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, that is on this
track,
track, this very track. Jack actually ran her livery as a tribute.
Oh, he did, yes. It shows how totally unforgettable last season was. As
rude.
Safety
I have
car
very fond memories of that season.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I have great memories of it. I enjoyed Singapore, where I sat here for what felt like about 3 days commentating on a race that had, and I think I worked out in the stats at the end of the season when I did my C5 stats, that the safety car was out for 73% of the race.
Oh, those are great numbers. With big
solid.
Big, like, avatar for that race.
Yeah, big fan of that. So, brand new softs for Matt Shepherd, who is made a mandatory, but of course will need to go on to another set of mediums later on. So he's running a medium, soft, medium course. So he started on the mediums. So he's running a shorter stint. I actually prefer to run the softs in my last stint when the car is a little bit lighter, because it's a little bit nicer on the tyres. But Matt's decided to try and make some moves in this second stint of his. Safety car will be out, whilst we've once again got Fozzie, who's done a lap on the hards. He's now decided he's going to go onto the softs instead. So he doesn't want to run a long stint. He's going to run a short stint on these softs, and he's going to hope to catch up by the end of the lap. I'm sure everyone else will hope he catches up, because others will be under safety car for another tour of this Miami International Circuit as we follow around the Miami Dolphins Stadium. And it's been an okay addition to the F1 calendar. There are better tracks I would prefer them to go to. Road America would be nice. Barber would be nice. Mid-Ohio would be nice, you're quite right. All these tracks that they just need to have some gravel traps rather than just all the absolutely death trap grass traps that they've got. But whereas Road Atlanta, that's another great track.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And why not? Let's put them on an oval. What oval would we go to? If we had to choose an oval to go to.
Daytona, because it's so bumpy and so absolutely disgustingly fast that those Kia drivers would absolutely make it happen. You know what we should do next season if we're still doing this? We should make a calendar with the super speedway on it.
That is true. Why don't we do that? I mean, we can't trust them. There's no way we can trust them to do the super speedway. But
what do you mean? Quinn would turn left on the first corner like it's a normal race and get absolutely rear-ended, flying 10 feet in the air and
we would
land on top of someone else.
There is no way we end with more than 3 cars in that race. It would be like Baku, but I cannot wait that is back on the calendar, because last time we went to Baku we finished with 3 cars. Right, second restart for Quinn. Will he go any later this time? Behind him this time is Jacko. Can Jacko get the jump on him? He's waiting. Quinn's going to wait to the line, and he goes and gets a good launch. Jacko's going to go with him. Behind, we've got cars filtering into position. We've got Wace, who's already made a jump, as Scott Henderson's dropping a couple of positions. Where's the yellow flag? Wait for it. It will come, trust me, as they make their way around the first and second corners to restart this race, as we've got already Wace ignoring time penalty, who got an early jump. Kingan ignores got the jump as well, and they decided not to let them cars back through, as that's Scott Hayes that's gone massively wide, and that's allowed Vitinho back down the inside. Scott, who's on the old soft tyres, so he's going to want to get off these soon, because down the inside of him is going to go Wace, and Scott's going to find himself falling down the order because behind Isaac Edemer. Kingan is in the tow using a bit of battery, and he can almost get 2 moves here, because he could try and send it down the inside. He's going to think better of it, but he does get the move done on Scott and takes 6th position. As the car's now all filtering in. We've got almost 3/4 of the way around this restart lap without a yellow flag just yet. Not holding my breath. I'm sure we'll get one shortly. But Quinn now 1.3 seconds in the lead from Jacko, Rageman, Vitinho, Wace and Kingan, who have both taken penalties for jumping the restart. And then we've got Scott, who's about to drop down behind Paul McGuinness. Matt Lester is making up positions as well. He's got Matt Shepherd, who's had a somewhat decent restart and needs to get a move done as soon as possible, using up these soft tyres as Scott is going deep and needs to get off these tyres. We do have into the box does come Scott Hayes, and Rageman as well, making his first mandatory stop.
Yeah, and I think you owe the grid an apology this time, because you said we're certainly gonna have a yellow, and there hasn't been a yellow yet. So I want to hear you say it.
Yeah, I apologise wholeheartedly, and I do reserve my my rights to suggest that we might have a yellow flag shortly, due to the fact that it's pretty much a given that we can't go more than 2 flying laps without yellow flag.
Oh, well, you should look at it this way, you know. At least you didn't get a 5-second penalty whilst you're already about to serve a 5-second penalty. No. I'm looking at you, Waze. Sorry. Anyway, funny stat this far, Dustin has made 3 stops. We're not even on 1/3 of the race.
Kia. Quinn's now leading by 2.4 seconds. Jacko needs to get off these soft tyres. Yes, he's sitting in P2, but I mean, Quinn plays the game more than anyone, and he's basically on it every single day anyway. I'm pretty sure he's like Kieran. He races in about 9 leagues a week. Vitinho's sitting behind Jacko. Vitinho's done 9 laps without losing his front wing. Jacko does box. So does Quinn. So they've decided to go for the same lap. Vitinho does the fastest lap of the race, beaten by Isaac straight away with 32.928. So he's 9/10 of a second off his fastest lap from last season. And
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons. Like I said,
you really don't mind. You really don't care about last season, do you?
Honestly, I could not tell you what happened last season. Genuinely, I have no idea.
I can walk you through it.
Actually, you've got time, because look at the field spread. You've got plenty of time.
4 wins, another added championships, regular season champion. It was a great season.
I mean, you're meant to be telling me the exciting bits.
Well, Leslie won the first race with 5 laps to go from 10th position.
Oh, he did,
That's an
didn't
exciting
he?
one.
Yeah, genuinely, I cannot remember anything about last season.
And Rico got pole in that race, first race in the season.
That was,
pole.
yeah, I think that was a bit of an S-house pole, though, wasn't it? Because
No,
it rained
that
as
was
soon
purely
as he done his lap.
Anyway,
as Matt
Paul
Lester
McGuinness
and Harry
Shep,
Collier are fighting. Go on,
those two as well.
what's happening with Paul?
Paul and Shep were having a little ding-dong going in after the... oh, nice one, Paul. Really, really well done there. You're supposed
Using
to be
the
like
curbs.
a semi... No, a little bit more than the curbs. You're supposed to be a semi-professional driver, mate. You know, you should know how wide the car is. Look at that, Jacko is making the moves. Who would have thought that? I certainly wouldn't have.
Kingan goes past Wace as well, so Wace down into P3. Of course, he's on the hard tyres, so he is going to have struggle on traction in this early stint. And Kingan really needs to break away now as Matt Shepherd does the fastest lap of the race, 32.7. Of course, he's on brand new, I say brand new, very much not brand new soft tyres, but was on brand new soft tyres. Expect Quinn to break that in a lap's time. He's currently in P9. Waste now sitting right on the gearbox of Kingan as Rageman goes fastest. And do we see Waste just about keeping it out of the gearbox as... both cars kind of tentatively make their way around turn 9 and making their way down the back straight. DRS will be activated for Waste, and he should, in theory, breeze back past Kingan, because Kingan, no DRS, he's used no ERS or no DRS. Neither one of them know which way to go. They were just kind of hopping around the circuit, and Waste has gone so deep that he's gone off the circuit and he's going to have to give that position back, and so he does. And what this is doing is bringing Matt Shepherd into the fight, and of course he's on the soft tyres compared to the hards and the mediums. And does he sniff a potential overtake on not only one but potentially 2 people down into the hairpin?
He might just do that. He is on the softest tyre, but I think he's just a little bit too far back. I think it'll be between Waze and Kingan. And this time, Kingan is just not going to defend. Well, we're just, you know, the safety cars doesn't make it boring. It's your lack of defense. So get on with it. Do something. Anyway, Lesty's still stuck behind Harry, which I know Harry's going to have an absolute laugh at. And right behind him is Quinn. Let's have a look at what Quinn does then. Well, that takes away the fastest lap.
Oh.
So that's a little. I'm not really sure whether I'm like excited about that because now Quinn has it, but then it's better than Isaac having it. So
Swipe him. Swipe him.
Interesting move. Good move though by Quinn, getting him up till into P7. But more importantly, by opting not to pit during that safety car, he is now 11.3 seconds behind the net race leader. So I really don't know why both Jacko and Quinn didn't decide to box earlier, because that has absolutely put them on the back foot.
I also don't know why Quinn was on battery going around the corners. He used battery and then decided to not use it down the back straight. So as you can see, rear LED flashing to suggest that he's used up he's got under 20%. And but he has now cleared Harry Collier and Matt Lester, who can re-engage in their little dance they've been doing with each other. And Quinn can now try and close up on this battle. This is happening still between P2, 3 and 4. Waste Kingen is trying to make a move. That's kind of a half-assed move, and Waste is into the wall, and Kingen's into the wall. And we might have a safety car. Say it with me, guys. 3. 12 laps in, we are averaging a safety car every 4 laps as Kingen cuts the safety car or pit lane entry line. I'm sure he doesn't care too much about that, as Waste got loose on the exit.
Hearts. Take a set of hearts. You can pit on lap 16. Take hearts.
He's going to serve his 5-second time penalty as well. Oh, this is going to hurt. What is it? It's a set of mediums he's going on to.
Right, so when he pits on lap 16, he's not got any mediums left to run.
No.
Great. Strategic. See, and they always say that I'm too fast, but I'm just strategic mastermind.
Unless he has chosen the harder tyre compound at the start, you would get an extra set of mediums. But I would imagine most of them have gone for the balance.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Anyway, let's note them down. Isaac, second stop, lap 12, non-mandatory.
So I often wonder when we race in Cup, if people watch it and it's as chaotic as what we have to cover in Kia, is that like this? I mean, this is pure JACKOCAR, and I think Cup is almost moving. I mean, it's JACKOCAR in a way that you've got the mixed up
sorry
grids.
To interrupt you, but Kingen, first you doubt in overtaking the safety car, yes or no, and now you've used all of your battery under the safety car.
Go on, you've got 30 seconds, Yuri, to berate him because he's now cutting corners. So
break him? I don't need to say anything anymore. He's just stuck on overtake. What is he doing?
I mean, he's clearly got Kaya in his ear as engineer.
Yeah, guy. Oh mate, use overtake. Take. You have to catch up to the back of the pack. Use overtake.
Isaac, if you're listening,
well,
turn it off.
Well, Quinn's just been gifted one hell of a birthday present because Vintinius decided to take a non-mandatory pit stop. What are these guys doing?
Oh, it's tactical genius. They're way above our skill level. So Jess has gone on to a new set of softs as well. So that's not a... Kingen is still got his battery on. Let's check. Is he the only one? So I do apologise for flicking. I don't like flicking often, but I'm just checking to make sure it's not a visual glitch. No, it is just Kingen who's running around with his battery on. Weisu is weirdly close to the back of that Aramco-sponsored Aston Martin. And I tell you what, Yuri, this is going to be a tasty restart with the fact that Weisu is going to be on, well, cold, hard tyres with Matt Shepherd, who's somewhat used soft tyres. And then Quinn back with much nicer soft tyres in P4 as well. So we could see, well, Wace has already murdered someone and put Kingen in the wall. Will he do the same to 3 of the cars behind him? We can only imagine that it will be the case. Matt Shepherd P2, Paul McGuinness P3. Where's Jacko in all this? P8. P8.
Washed.
He was almost leading earlier on in this race.
He was almost leading. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. How? Where and how? At the end, he's gone into the wall. At the end.
Is that a Quinn?
No.
Is that a...
No, he's still tried to make the corner. Yep, he's still tried to make the corner. But he's gone into the wall on the sort of the exit of the corner. So it's almost like he's understeered straight into the wall. Car's disappeared. Matt Lester out the race. Oh dear.
Interesting. Well, before that happened, I wanted to jump in on the comment you said about Quinn being on the best tires out there. And we all know there's either one of these next 2 things is going to happen. Either he's going to cut through the field, get in the lead, and get a gap. Oh, well, 1 or 3 actually. 2 is be mindful of the fact that the next lap is lap 16, and then end of stage 1, lap 17, you can pit. Or he's just going to lose his head, thinking he's got to go through the field as quick as possible right now and be backwards by turn 6.
Right. Yeah.
So if you've been listening in the chat, tell me which one is most likely to happen, because I'd be dying for your input.
Yeah, it would be good to hear from the guys that are watching along. Let us know. Is that Michel saying I'm not the fastest member of Team Speed?
I'm surprised. Out of what I said, he got that, and not that I'm the 3rd fastest.
To be fair, that's
funny.
I mean, it's slander, and you'll be hearing from my lawyers. Safety car still out.
Have you seen Lesty's comment?
Lesty was letting his cat out of the room and trying to drive at the same time.
I've got a cat as well, and I know that at the moment that I'm racing, I'm going to do either one of 2 things.
Oh, I have my heart in my hands.
Let the cat be the cat, or drive. So, anyway, restart. I'll leave this up to you.
Yes, please do, because it's been a great race. Lap 15, we are about to start lap 16, which will be, at the end of that lap, the 2nd stage completed. So Matt Shepherd can get a playoff point if he can get past Wace. Wace, who can go any time from now, waiting, and off he goes. Matt Shepherd has got the reactions of a sloth, and he's nowhere near. Paul McGuinness, we've got a yellow in sector 3 already, as we've got Paul McGuinness trying to make a move, but doesn't quite, goes a little bit deep on these medium tyres. Quinn is going around the inside, or going down the inside of Paul McGuinness, as we've got 2 cars at the back. We've got King and Rageman that have had their own incident. They are now underway, but Quinn back up to P3, everyone making their way through the sweeping bends in sector 1 and sector 2. Wace still holding on to position, but Matt Shepherd needs to dump everything he's got now. He's got 100% battery. If you want a playoff point, you need to get past now. So I imagine Wace will be doing exactly the same. There'll be no DRS available, of course. 3 laps after the safety cars come in, he's still using. You're going to have to send it here. Don't let Wace bully you off. And Wace is going to drive him to the outside line. And Matt Shepherd, who's thinking better of it, is he going to try and nick up the inside into one of these slower corners? Wace is going to block him, but what it has done is brought Quinn right back into the fight. They're 2.1 seconds ahead of Jacko, who, after seemingly having a decent qualifying session, is absolutely nowhere in the race. Quinn is now right on the toe of Matt Shepherd, and was almost tagged the rear end of him, and he's going to get past. And what this is going to do is, I think, allow Wace the playoff point, because Quinn's not quite close enough. Wace has used all his battery in the desperate hope of getting this playoff point. Is it enough? Because Quinn's going to get the acceleration advantage. No, it is Wace that will win stage 2, but Quinn will retake the lead of the race in roughly around about 6 or 7 seconds, because he's going to go around the outside to turn to the inside, switch back on Wace. Wace is going to go full D-head mode, and will be moving across the circuit. I'm sure.
Come on, do it.
Yeah, you want to see it there. You want to see the lunge, don't you? These are the 2 people that would do it as well. Quinn would then say, I had the move, I had the position, and Wace would drive like Waste does. As Matt Shepard has gone off and spins off into the painted section, got on, skated the curb, and he's now dropped down the order. That promotes somehow Jacko up into P3, Paul McGuinness and Vitinho as Kingan. His day goes from bad to worse. He's now got another penalty. He's way down the order, P12 for Isaac. As Vitinho clears Paul McGuinness and almost tags the rear ender. Jacko there had to get on the brakes. As I told you to die quietly if you were going to do it. But Quinn now 0.2 of a second behind Wace. And this move will be coming very, very shortly. Surely he's going to be on the button. Both of them have absolutely abused their battery. Quinn's now down to 20%. He's got the advantage, of course, of tyres. But Wace is going to hold the inside line. Quinn, that you're not stopping that car. Yep, thought so.
I mean, I'm all up for that move, but jeez.
So I mean, it was such a switch, like that he almost lost the car. Like it was so aggressive.
Now all of them are so focused in doing the driving and the racing that they forget that they can get a free pit stop because there's bound to be a safety car anytime soon. The smart ones here are Paul. And the next one is Scott. So they're taking the first opportunity to pit for their second mandatory. And you mentioned Jacko, who actually... I love Jacko. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm loving him. Because he is just the kind of driver that sees the opportunity to go for a move, and he doesn't care where it is. Turn 7 down the inside. Don't mind me, I'll take it. And he just sends it up to someone, and Paul runs wide, and they just go side by side throughout the entire stage, straight into the stadium section, losing a bunch of time, unnecessary, but still just going for it. And that's why Mr. Ricketts is so far down the order, so far behind in 4th right now.
Jess, you need to commit to those overtakes. You had him dead to rights there, and you backed out of it. You had such an advantage in speed, and you backed out of the move when you should just be sending down the inside of Harry there. And I don't want to see you doing that again. Let's see if she actually gets the move done this time around. So much slipstream, so much spare speed. And, that's the much easier way of doing it, as Harry's going to try and get the switch back, and he's not quite close enough. Jess now up into P6, as into the box comes Wace with his playoff point. He can take those hard tyres off and go onto a set of mediums, I'd imagine, to get him to the end of this race. Into the box he comes, and it is a set of soft tyres, but of course he will serve his 5-second time penalty. What this has done is promoted Quinn into a comfortable lead of this race. Vitinho, Victor Souza and P2. Somehow Victor's had a semi-decent race here. He's kind of just been a bit nowhere. Not really challenging Quinn, but sitting in P2.
Wace must have looked at the stream and be just like, well, if Matt Shep can do 13 laps on those tires, so can I. But yeah. That ain't happening, Chief. Yeah,
those tyres that die after 9 laps. Well, he's got 10.5 to do. So we'll see how that goes for Wace. He's now down in 11th position. And as we'll show you, still has 5 seconds to serve. So Vitinho now in DRS of Quinn. So... what's happened to Quinn? Because he was comfortably...
Those tyres are on lap 9, as you mentioned.
It's true. So he'll be having to box shortly.
He has to. Well, he doesn't have to, because Quinn served the penalty, so he doesn't need to cover him off. But he needs to cover off Paul.
Yes, good
and he
shot.
doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing that you're here looking at pit stops, because I haven't paid attention to it whatsoever.
No problem. I'm not here to talk, I just do it, but I'm more here to just write things down to help you.
You're like my admin assistant. This is what I needed. I needed a secretary.
Hi, this is Mr. Hall's office speaking. How can I help?
Can I give you a uniform? You have to wear like a pencil skirt, like a white blouse.
How many buttons do you want unbuttoned?
At least the top 2.
Oh, not really sure whether that's... see, as I say, there's probably people with weirder kinks in here. Just didn't expect it to be the commentator.
Well, yeah, we're only scratching the surface. As And Vitinho now DRS activated. He's surely going to get moved on Quinn, who's got nothing to combat it with, the battery and the DRS, and he's going to try and stick around the inside, but Vitinho shows him the door and retakes. I say retakes. He is ahead of Quinn, I believe, for the first time. There is a yellow flag out there for Isaac, who is trying to retire himself by reversing into the wall as hard as possible.
Say it with me, kids.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. 4. It was like, this is like Sesame Street. We're gonna.
Gareth, I want you to say sorry to me.
Oh.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Right, who's going to get a speeding? Who's going to come into the pit lane and speed?
Quinn. If I were Quinn, I would just pit and put in another set of tires just to be there on the start of the race.
You've got to, you've got to come in onto a set.
What do you lose? Well, you don't lose at all anything. Like, where would he be? 6th, 7th, maybe?
So no one coming in.
No. For anyone who's farther behind, I'll understand it. But like these 11 laps old softs. Oh well. Gareth, I also want an apology from you because I've been given a lot of slack on the commentary because you say you remember absolutely nothing about it, but all you said is you were too fast and blah blah blah. You heard here live how I win races. It's strategy, because Paul is just one happy chappy there.
No,
he's got weight behind him.
There is a vast difference between strategy and outlasting everyone else being bad.
Well. You want to talk about that, or is my screen glitching?
Well, yeah, let's have a look at this. We've got... Do you know what? It has clouded over a little bit here.
Yeah, but it is... No, not yet.
There is no way that both of them have gone on to intermediates knowingly. I mean, there's no rain. It's literally not raining yet.
I'm looking at halos and nose cones, and I see absolutely no drops of rain.
So, I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Either we're so stupid right now, and they know something, or they're just taking the piss.
I mean, if it is happening, if it is going to happen, that would make my day, because I would love the fact that if we had like a sudden downpour. I kind of don't want anyone to tell me either. I don't want anyone in the comments to say, well, the weather's... I kind of just want to see what's going to happen with Rageman and Kingan trying to stop going into turn 1 on intermediate tyres.
Mr. Formula 3 said in chat, rain incoming 15 minutes. I'm not really sure how long ago that was, but...
Well, are they...
Or did I just ruin it for you?
Well, no, I mean, I said I didn't want to know, and you've just ruined it, so spoilers. Well, that's fine.
It's not like I care about your feelings.
No, you shouldn't do either. Well, 21 of 29. This has been up there with probably the most like abusive / casual commentary I think I've ever done. I think we're at a new low now. I mean, or high. It depends on your definition. Right, intermediates for Fozzie. So, are they all expecting it to rain enough for this to make any sense? Because Kingan's not slowing down. He just about gets that stopped. He sticks out with it. The problem, there we go. Spots of rain. We have rain, Yuri.
Yeah, I see it on the halo.
So, but is it going to rain enough for these tyres to make any difference? Because the problem for these guys at the moment is into the wall and out the race, surely. Kingan's in the wall, lost the front wing.
Well, at least he didn't bin it after on turn 1, so you have to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is. Some would say this is the best place to crash because you now get the rest of the lap to really assess what you're doing with your life. But I mean, for the guys, I say apart from Kingan, who's going to have to box for another nose cone. What you will be doing at the moment is burning the tyres out. So the intermediates don't like running on dry tyres or dry track at all. So you kind of take the nice bit out of them as we've got cars kind of half spinning on their own. Do we see, with the rain now coming, people diving into the pit lane and extending the safety car. Safety car is going to stay out another lap because we've got King and somewhat making his way around Sector 2 at the moment. But as Kaya suggests, there's a race ban incoming for Yori. King is cutting corners. He's having enough of it. Here we go into the box. So we've got a couple of people who are deciding to make a bold move. One of them is going to be Quinn. One of them is Jacko. So they've decided to go for intermediate tyres and hope that it gets wet enough for it to make sense. It is getting a little bit heavier in intensity. That's an unsafe release there for Jacko. That's a 10-second time penalty for him and a €40,000 fine. That fine will be coming my way. He does come out behind Quinn, but intermediates from 6th down. So, I mean, Dustin and Rageman, they do jump the queue. What it does do, however, is leave Vitinho, Jess, Harry. Matt Shepherd is on 17-lap-old softs.
Does he not know that he can make one pit stop under the safety car? I've got his last stop on lap 4.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure whether that was a safety car stop or not, but
Oh, it must have been.
I don't.
Safety
Did we not go green on lap 3?
Oh, I don't know. We've had so many.
Well, you keep count of the safety cars. You know perfectly fine how many there are.
Well, we've had 4. They're all out for 3 laps each, aren't they? So at least they have been currently. We've not got any spray. People getting weirdly close to the back end of this safety car. I don't quite get it.
And people are also taking weird lines. Like I saw Scott just ran wide. Kingan runs wide all the time, to be fair, so it doesn't really matter which tires they're on the car. But yeah, no, it's this is going to be interesting. I'm all here for it. Wait, I'm going to grab some popcorn.
Yeah, so you should. Safety car. The lights are still on unless they're extinguished.
Because Kingan is so far down the grid. Oh, it doesn't care about Kingan. We're going to go.
That's going to make his evening even better. Here we go. Green flags are out. That doesn't mean you can go just yet. What it does mean, though, is that Victor Souza will be your effective race leader from now. He's got Jess and Harry for company. Harry and Matt Shepherd, their tyres do not want to play ball. Kingan's cutting corners to try and catch up to the back of the pack. It's not going to happen, Isaac, unfortunately. But here comes Vitinho. Right now we are ready for intermediates. I think the track is starting to look slick. It's not quite standing water just yet, but I think these guys on the softs are really going to hurt on this lap. Underway for these guys. 5 on dry tyres. Matt Shepherd's dropped it already. As we can see, there's going to be chaos surely between Quinn, Jacko and Mick Schumacher. We've got Wace has gone around behind, and we've got yellow flags across the circuit because I think Kingan is trying to bring out a safety car. Oh, he's restarted, but Vitinho's still leading. Jess still tiptoeing her way around this circuit. Paul McGuinness on these medium tyres. Well, I don't think these dries are going to get to the end. We have had it. We've had it recently that the dries and the wets can run at the same sort of pace. But, well, Quinn's making up positions pretty comfortably at the moment. He's just overtaken Dustin Rolko as we've got another yellow out there for Kingan. And this is becoming a bit of a meme now as Kingan tries to get it restarted, as everyone filtering their way now into the stadium section, getting it twisty-turny all around, trying to find the right line. Jacko's trying to get a move done on Dustin, sitting there behind, and he can sniff a podium in this race now that the Inters have been strapped onto these cars. We're about to start lap 25 of 29, and I'd expect to see the top 3 pitting imminently, because it definitely looks as though Inters are the way forward now.
Oh, Gareth, you're seeing what I'm seeing, because we're not going to hear the end of this if he pulls it off. Yeah, we're not going to hear the end of this. Oh, guys, I got 2 cars in one corner.
All right, guys, go talk about this for the next week. But look at this double overtake I made on people on dry tyres. Oh, as Vitinho gets 5 seconds. Yeah, that one will be promoted all throughout all social media. Watch out for that. But Dustin P2, Jacko P3, Rageman P4, Michael Schneider, Mick Schumacher P5, Wace even after crashing is up to P6. We've got is that Rageman is going all sorts of positions, and that's going to possibly allow his countryman Marco Schneider to get a move done. In fact, Marco's going to try and make a move. He's following each other. They're following each other's lines, and look at the state of this. Rageman is all over the place. I'm not like Rageman hasn't once used one of the corners. They're now side by side, and he's just put Marco in the wall. Waste has now gone around the outside, and he's equally put him in the wall. So that's no front wing for Marco Schneider. Waste is going to get past one. He's going to get past two. We've got Robin Border with nothing to defend with. And Waste now up into P4, but possibly with a penalty incoming, because it looked as though he did move across Michael Schneider a little bit there and put the German into the concrete barrier. Up at the front, Quinn is 2.1 seconds ahead of Jacko. Jacko holding on to P2, and then we've got this battle behind with the likes of Dustin Walker. Waste is now 3.6 seconds back. Robin Border, Mick Schumacher, and then we've got Scott Hayes and Victor Souza on brand new Inters in P8.
Yeah, this is quite the interesting podium as we're as far as we're looking at right now, because Dustin has closed the gap to his workmate, I think, or at least they know each other from somewhere anyway. So this is going to be interesting.
Other way around.
The other way around. Well. Anyway, I hope they collide so they can have a little fun tomorrow.
So, oh, it's happened again. Oh, it's happened immediately. It's Matt Shepherd who's retired at the exit of the hairpin, and his car disappears. So, thankfully, no late safety car, which I'm sure Kingen, who is cruising in 7th gear at the moment, is he going to stop? Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Has he got no fuel? No, he's going into the pit lane.
He should be fine on fuel at
least.
Oh, he's going to retire.
Here we go. Here comes the retirement. He was waiting for a safety car. Yeah. He was waiting for a safety car.
As soon as you sped into the pit, you know what time it was. What
an end for Isaac there, who could have just finished the race and got some points, but instead he decided to throw his toys out the pram. Robin, 3-second time penalty for him. Lap 26 of 29. Harry Collier is 0.4 of a second behind Paul McGuinness. Paul McGuinness, who you were toting for a potential race victory, is now down in P9. As we've got King's car exiting the pit lane. Hopefully that will despawn before the guys get there. I think it probably will do. They've got about 6 or 7 seconds before. And there we go, back to green. Paul McGuinness, who's now holding off Harry Collier. Harry just needs to send it. Why not have some fun? We've got 3 laps left to go in this race as Vitinho's got around Scott Hayes there as Harry Collier does get down the inside. And he's going to lose the car around the outside. I mean, what lines are these guys taking? Off the throttle gets Harry. Go on, Harry, just throw it down the inside. Go on, I dare you, go on. Oh, he thinks better of it as Paul McGuinness is going to go deep. That's going to open the door for Harry Collier to get the switchback. Oh, this is brilliant driving between the pair of them. Absolute esports level as around the outside goes Harry Collier, 98 of Paul McGuinness. Marco Schneider is pointing in the wrong direction, has no front wing. He's going to spin back into the face of traffic. Luckily, they all miss him. Does Jess. She's about to come round and she manages to navigate around this car that was just about off of the racing line. As the field really starting to spread out now, because somehow we've got, after a safety car, a 5.6 second gap between P5 and P6. Quinn is leading by 4 seconds. Dustin Rocco was going to have if all things go to plan, is going to have a podium in only a second ever JACKOCAR race, which I'm sure Justin would be delighted with. Wace is back in P4. Of course, he's already served 2 5-second time penalties as well. So what would have been if he hadn't...
could have won that.
Yeah, exactly. What would have been if he wasn't so useless? Rageman P5, Vitinho P6. Scott Hayes is P8 now. Harry Collier has got past him. Harry, who's decided to start overtaking now that we've got to the penultimate lap of the race. And he's overtaken Scott, who of course is on 4 lap old hards, as Scott is going to get it slowed down just about, but Harry can break away from the pack. Quinn's going to win this at a canter. We can only hope that he spins out and crashes on the last lap just to bring a smile to our faces. Paul McGuinness now 0.4 of a second behind Scott. And will he get a move done? These two both... Oh, that was close, as for some reason Scott got off the throttle. And Paul Guinness gets up into P8. I mean, look at those gaps, Yuri. What do we say? 28 of 29. Tell us a little bit more about Quinn's race. Has he deserved this one?
Has he deserved this one? Oh, almost didn't. Saw that, Quinn. Has he deserved it? Do you want me to answer that in the Kia Series commentators role, or in like an actual spectator of this race?
Let's take both, and then we'll compare the two.
Right, I'll start with the Kia Series. Of course not. He's just lucked his way into the front of the race without having to do anything of it. That 3-wide overtake into the final corner was so easy that even Kaya could have pulled it off with those tires compared to the other guys. And yeah, well, if he wasn't there, he would have honestly been like. So terribly bad. And if I were to go the other way, I think he did. I think he has deserved it, because he's had to make those moves when he made them. Because being stuck behind two guys on the wrong tires coming out of that final corner would have harmed his race. And Jacko is now 3.5 seconds back, but that could have been a whole lot different if he didn't make that move. Other than that, he played the strategy kind of quite okay. Because I said that it was stupid, but I'm also still getting into this, as we have a car off in the final couple of corners.
Paul McGuinness.
He was going to win this race, you know.
He was going to win the race.
But that was before I forgot about the updated safety car rule in Kia Series, which Danny used, and he made the took full advantage of that, and he's now finding himself in the race. Losing time, though. Did you see that?
Yeah, he is. I think he's just cruising now, really. I think what this is what Quinn would do. He would back off and be like, I'm not winning by that far.
Well, or...
He's got 87% battery there.
Or is he playing a game? Is he already thinking ahead? Is he like, I don't really need 5 playoff points. I might need Jacko to be in the playoffs because he's not really a threat, or...
No, because I don't think he doesn't think like that. He would rather chase your all-time wins record and do a Max Verstappen and just win every race this season. But what I do appreciate is how much he's going to... when Jacko tells him he's too fast for Kia and he's going to have to move up to Cup, that he just goes no and just doesn't race again, because he can only race when he's competitive. But Quinn, around the final corner, he's got 2 more corners left to go to make it 2 in a row to open the season. Danny Quinn to the line. It was all so easy. He's going to let Jacko win. Oh, how boring. Jacko wins the race. Quinn P2. Paul McGuinness retires on the last lap. Dustin Rolko, congratulations, your first podium here in JACKOCAR in your second ever race. Waste P4, Vitinho, Rageman, both got penalties. That might promote Harry Collier up a couple of positions, and does. Good result there from Harry. He gets up to P5. Rageman, Vitinho, Scott will come home in P8. Jess is chasing him down, but it's not going to be quite close enough. It's 0.8 of a second across the line. He's in 8th, Jess in 9th, and Marco Schneider without his front wing. What could have been for Marco after he was put in the wall by Wace. He will be coming home in 10th. Paul McGuinness retired on the last lap of the race. We lost Kingan, who rage quit in the pits. Matt Shepherd drove into a wall. Matt Lester drove into a wall. And I think everyone else drove us mad. Well, that was a race. Jacko takes another undeserved victory here in Kia.
I was just about to say that.
Never once deserved.
Dude can only win when he's gifted wins.
But I think when Quinn looks at this, is that, like, as you're saying, if he's looking at it as of Jacko's not a threat in the playoffs, but I don't think this is going to work in the case of Quinn saying, I'm not too fast for Kia, I'm not too fast for Kia, because you see that he didn't win every race so far this season. But maybe it is tactical, maybe he is looking at the playoffs, but I would imagine that he would make it into the Championship 5 regardless of who was in the playoffs. Jacko is your race winner. That is disgusting to say, and I feel like I need to take a shower after it. He is your. It comes from third to first, 52 minutes and 52 minutes and 59 seconds. Quinn, fastest lap of the race, 2 seconds faster than anyone else. He bottles the win. P2, Dutton Rolko, fantastic result from him. P5 to a podium. Waste P4 holds position. Harry Collier makes up positions. P8, Rageman goes from 16th to 6th. Vitinho, and then we've got Scott Hayes, Jess Ball and Marcus Schneider are your finishers. Paul McGuinness retired on the last lap. Kingan retired in the pit lane. And then we have Matt Shepherd, Lesty, Thomas Nevitt, OKK and Mazza, who left all earlier. Kingan trying to take the record for most amount of time penalties accrued in one race. He was up to 26 before he retired in the pit lane. Just think, Kingan, you could have won that one. But that is the end of Miami. I'm sure everyone's going to be saying how much they hate this circuit in the chat. I'm looking forward to it, as hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Yuri, what do you think?
I don't even want to say anything about that other than I've just found out the reason why Paul crashed in the final lap. And I will quote him on this. Shed myself when Jacko's driver shouted easy across the line, puts too much throttle down and crashed. Yeah, that just happened. Also, something funny to point out is that Jacko all of a sudden is a fan of Quinn. I wonder why.
Yeah, he's posted a picture himself of Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, of course, famously from the A1 ring back in the 2000. Was that the 2004 season? It was the 2004 season.
Was it 2001?
Or was it? No. Oh, I don't know, actually. I can never remember. It was the one where Schumacher won he did a max. He basically won every. I'm not quite sure who's who in that, because if Jacko's sort of trying to imply that Quinn is Michael Schumacher, then I might vomit. I can see Jacko being a Rubens Barrichello.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very much just a number two, just a solid number two, in all senses of the word. But
yeah, that is about it, to be fair.
That is us done for this week. And gosh, we somehow make it through another race here in the Kia Series. Make sure you do join us on Thursday for some actual racing when the Cup Series will be over in Suzuka. You can see the likes of the fastest guy in T-Speed, Gareth. You can see the third fastest member of Team Speed, Yuri, on circuit for that one. Will we make it another race winner and make it, was it five different out of 5 races?
Yeah.
So
it's still on the cards.
Yep, we can have an IndyCar style season of trying to have as many different race winners as possible.
And then Jake finally turns up a la Polo and walks away with it.
Yeah, I know, it'd be sad, wouldn't it? But well, for us next week, we because of course we made it easy for ourselves, we head over to Hungary. So Budapest will be the next circuit here on a Tuesday evening, and well, a street track without walls, high downforce. Oh God, corner cuts.
Which movie are we talking about next week?
Oh yeah, we'll post it on social media with what the. Or do we start off with something? Do we start off motorsport related? Do we go
Driven.
back through?
Yes, let's do it.
I was going to say I have a Driven or Days of Thunder with Ruby about my
Driven.
two.
Let's go Driven.
Okay, we'll do Driven. So every time a safety car comes out next week, we are not talking anything to do with this race. We will be reviewing the movie Driven, which was famously really, really good.
It's by far the best racing-related movie.
Yes, it is.
So accurate, so inspirable, and
so tune in for that, because trust me, that will be better than the race. But thank you very much for joining myself, Gareth Hall, and Yuri Haslager in the comments box. We'll be back next Tuesday night for Budapest. Make sure you join Jacko in the commentary box on Thursday for the Cup Series. But have a great night. Definitely worth a watch back, that one. That was a lot of fun to commentate over. The racing, however, we'll hope for Budapest to be a little bit better. But have a good week, guys. I'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night.